From the Chattahoochee Tech Studio, welcome to the Marietta Daily Journal Podcast. Today is Thursday, January 5th, and happy 48th birthday to actor Bradley Cooper.
How much for the gun?
Not for sale.
Okay, how much for the arm? Oh, I'll get that arm.
I'm Dan Ratcliffe, and here are your top stories presented by Marietta Click IT. The teen that died in a frozen lake was rescuing his friend. A West Cobb Senior Center has reopened after freeze damage. And the new year was welcomed in with the birth of new babies. We'll have all this and more coming up on the Marietta Daily Journal Podcast.
Unknown error. Every time I think my business is on track, I get these computer issues that shut me down for a day.
Ever since my business partnered with Click IT of Marietta, I don't even worry about those types of things. They're local, they have 20 years experience, and specialize in helping small businesses just like mine and yours.
Do they handle hardware and software?
Hardware, software, malware, you name it. Just tell them when and where, and they will be there. Visit them online at marietta.clickitcomputers.com or give them a call at 678-202-4600. Instead of submitting a support ticket, call Marietta Click It. The 16-year-old who died after falling into a partially frozen lake in Kennesaw last week has been hailed as a hero by his family, who said he died after trying to save a friend from the icy waters. The teen who died was identified as Corin Troy Brooks on social media, where his aunt paid tribute to him. Brandy Wells, Brooks' aunt, called her nephew a hero on Facebook, sharing a GoFundMe page that she created to benefit her sister. As of late Tuesday afternoon, the fundraiser had raised nearly $16,000. Brooks was a junior at Kennesaw Mountain High School. A Kennesaw Police Department report provides new details about the sequence of events which led to Brooks' death on Wednesday, December 28th. A Kennesaw police officer was the first on scene and wrote that he arrived at Ellison Lake off Cobb Parkway around 5:10, where he observed a juvenile male clinging to broken ice and calling for help about 25 yards from shoreline. After removing police gear, the officer carefully ventured out onto the ice, making it about 15 yards before it began cracking. By that point, another officer and a sergeant had retrieved a garden hose from a nearby home. The officers on the shore threw the hose to the KPD officer, who in turn threw it to the juvenile, and he was pulled onto the ice and back to shore. That juvenile, who's also 16 years old, was taken to Wellstar Kennestone Hospital and survived. Once out of the water, the juvenile told police that another male, Brooks, was still in the water. The officer ventured back out onto the ice to about the same spot that he was before the ice cracked and the officer fell in the water. The officer was unable to continue his search as the cold water took his breath away. Cobb Fire arrived on scene shortly thereafter and began rescue operations. The fire department previously said that Brooks was not pulled out of the water until about 6:50 p.m., roughly an hour and 40 minutes after the first officers arrived on scene. The West Cobb Senior Center, one of 3 county facilities damaged during last week's freezing temperatures, partially reopened on Wednesday. 2 other facilities will remain closed for the time being after suffering water damage from burst pipes. The West Cobb Senior Center, C. Freeman Poole Senior Center, and Vinings Library Branch were all damaged during Christmas weekend when temperatures dropped into the teens. The C. Freeman Poole Senior Center is expected to reopen in mid-March, the county said on social media, with its winter quarter classes canceled. Meanwhile, the Vinings Library remains closed indefinitely. Patrons with pickup items at the Vinings branch can retrieve them at the Lewis A. Ray Library in Smyrna. Cobb County's population grew by 1 a few hours into the new year. Tyler and Lillian Tate welcomed a 7-pound, 15-ounce boy, Aiden, who was born Sunday at 5:09 a.m. at Wellstar Kennestone Regional Medical Center in Marietta, according to a news release. Baby Aiden, however, was not the first child of 2023 to be born in the Marietta-based health system, which includes 9 hospitals in 7 counties. That distinction goes to Kaylor Lane, a girl who arrived at 2:02 a.m. at Wellstar West Georgia Medical Center in LaGrange. The 7-pound, 14-ounce baby was born to parents Casey Fowler and Cam Cobb. Florida safety Rashad Torrance II found playing time as soon as he stepped on campus in 2020. For the last 2 years, the former Marietta High School standout has been a starter in the Gators' defensive backfield, and he wrapped up the 2022 season by making 8 tackles against Oregon State in the Las Vegas Bowl last month. Over the holiday weekend, the 6-foot, 202-pound Torrance decided to make this his final college football game. With up to 2 years of eligibility remaining, he decided to forego them and enter his name into the NFL draft. He made the announcement on social media. Torrance led Florida in tackles this year with 84, including 50 solo. He also had a forced fumble recovery, and a pass breakup, and he had 3 double-digit tackle games, including a season-high 13 against Tennessee and 11 against Georgia. For his career, Torrance started 28 games over 3 seasons. He finished with 196 tackles, including 111 solo, as well as 3 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, and 6 passes defended. The consensus of the draft websites has Torrance as a late second or early third round selection, going between the 3rd and 5th rounds.
Engineered Solutions is your locally owned and operated commercial and residential foundation company that specializes in foundation repair, basement waterproofing, and crawl space encapsulation.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. I've done the research already, so you don't have to.
Dial 678-ESOG now.
You deserve better than your bank. Better service, better rates, better solutions. If you live or work in Cobb County, now is the perfect time to make the switch to Credit Union of Georgia, the better way to bank. Since 1960, Credit Union of Georgia has been providing Northwest Georgia with financial solutions that make sense for your home, business, and family. As a homegrown, not-for-profit cooperative, our members are our mission. Not only will you get the best loan rates, you'll get personalized customer service from people who understand your needs. Plus, Credit Union of Georgia provides real convenience with a network of more than 30,000 accessible ATMs and branch locations across the country. Of course, there's also 5 locations right here in Cobb County. Ready to see how much better your banking can be with Credit Union of Georgia? Become a member today or apply for a loan online by visiting cuofga.org. Credit Union of Georgia, the better way to bank.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more. What you say?
The profile of a major road project is starting to take shape. Along Windy Hill Road from South Cobb Drive to Atlanta Road, workers are carving out a channel through which new express lanes will be built, meant to spirit commuters along the east-west artery. Above grade, existing lanes will one day be converted to one-way frontage roads with slower speeds and better pedestrian access. The road, a major thoroughfare, links to Interstate 75 in the east and becomes Macklin Road in West Cobb. The Windy Hill Boulevard project, a $55 million makeover along a roughly mile-long section that runs through Smyrna, is jointly funded by the city and Cobb County and began in February 2020. The MDJ previously reported the city expects construction to finish after the originally scheduled end date of May 2023. An Atlanta man who escaped from law enforcement custody in October has been apprehended once again. Authorities allege that Deontavius Robertson escaped from custody on October 12th, fleeing on foot from a Mableton apartment where he had been detained by Cobb County Sheriff's deputies. Police searched for Robertson for hours, putting nearby City View Elementary on lockdown. While that search was unsuccessful, Robertson was eventually arrested last Friday and booked into the Cobb County Jail. According to warrants for his arrest, Cobb Sheriff's deputies encountered Robertson on October 12th while serving an eviction at the Mableton Ridge apartment complex off Mableton Parkway. Robertson, who was found sleeping in the master bedroom, told deputies he was staying there with his girlfriend. Deputies found a loaded 9mm pistol on his shelf in a closet after Robertson and his girlfriend had said there were no weapons in the apartment. Robertson is accused in warrants of providing a fake name and date of birth to the deputies. He did, however, admit that he had served time in prison, thereby violating state law, which prohibits convicted felons from possessing guns. Deputies subsequently handcuffed Robertson. They were awaiting the arrival of a mobile fingerprint scanner to identify him when he suddenly jumped up and began running from the scene, according to the warrants. While the initial search for Robertson was unsuccessful, investigators were able to learn his identity, according to the warrants, and discovered he also had warrants out in Fulton County and Warren County, both for probation violation.
Hi, I'm Glenn Drake, owner of Drake Realty. The world's changed a lot in the last year, so Drake Realty is changing with it. Our newest website allows you to find your property and agent, then we take care of the rest. We have experienced partners and state-of-the-art technology to keep your earnest money safe and closings on time. If you're looking for a seamless transaction from contract to close, visit us online at drakerealty.com.
Thanks again for listening to today's Marietta Daily Journal Podcast. Did you know over 50% of Americans listen to podcasts weekly? Make sure you join us for our next episode and share this podcast on social media with your friends and family. You can find us on TikTok at MDJ Podcast, add us to your Alexa Flash Briefing or Google Home Briefing, and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. This podcast is a production of BG Ad Group. Darren Sutherland, Executive Director. Jacob Sutherland, Director. Matt Golden, News Director. Chen Ray Zhang, Director Producer. And Jason Gentarola, Audio Producer. All rights reserved.